sant yàlla.
looy xaar utal wéef nga scan nga fay te nag doo ci yokku dara.
A better way to pay your UTG fees with instant proof of payment and real-time student portal update. Paying your University of the Gambia fees has never been easier or more convenient. With Ecobank, students, parents and guardians can pay UTG tuition and related fees through our secure digital banking channels such as Ecobank mobile app, Ecobank online and Ecobank Omni Lite. Once payment is completed, instant proof of payment is generated and the UTG student portal is updated in real time, allowing students to proceed immediately with registration, course selection, and clearance without unnecessary delays, while giving parents and guardians peace of mind that payments have been successfully processed. How to pay via the Ecobank mobile app. Open the Ecobank mobile app and navigate to the home screen. Select Pay Bill. Choose Pay a New Bill and select Schools from the category options. Select University of the Gambia. Select the specific product you are paying for. Enter your matriculation number and tap Continue. Validate your details. The system will display the payable amount. Press Continue to confirm the payment. An e-receipt is generated automatically as proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. How to pay via Ecobank Online or Omni Lite. Log in to Ecobank Online and Omni Lite using your credentials. Select the menu and choose Bill Payments. Choose Quick Bill Pay and select School from the category options. Select University of the Gambia. Select the specific product you are paying for. Enter your matriculation number and tap Continue. Validate your details. The system will display the payable amount. Press Continue to confirm the payment. An e-receipt is generated automatically as proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. Walk into any Ecobank branch or pay through our digital channels and enjoy instant proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. Ecobank, the Pan-African Bank.
JA Oil Company stands tall as a trusted name in energy, keeping the Gambia moving with service stations across the country and a commitment to innovation and reliability. In Farafenni, JA Group is reshaping our industrial landscape. The JA Oil Cement Factory can produce up to 100,000 bags a day, reducing imports, creating jobs, and building a stronger Gambia brick by brick. And in the heart of the Central River region, JA Farming Initiative is cultivating food security. With thousands of hectares under development and modern irrigation, JA Farming is turning the Gambia's soil into abundance. JA Group is more than a company. It is a vision of self-sufficiency, resilience, and progress. The JA Group of companies, investing in industry, agriculture, and energy, building the Gambia's future today.
I was listening to your interview with Talib,
Yes.
of course, and I think one thing that should be very clear is that whenever you respond to the opposition are free to attack and question and critique government, but whenever you respond, they say, oh, they go as crybabies, or they're attacking us because they are afraid of course, because they always say. So when we, I think we are calling for political debate on issues, on how should we run our economy, on how should we improve healthcare, access to healthcare, how do we improve access to education, how do we ensure better education outcomes, how do we X, Y, Z. This is debate. But whenever you take them to that theater, they have no response but to say, oh, they have been targeted, they are afraid of us. No, nobody's afraid of anybody in this country. We all know that the president remains the most popular president.
He's not afraid of Talib.
No, I mean, look,
He's not shaken by Talib's popularity,
even,
rising popularity, growing popularity.
I mean, when people even say that he's part of the opposition, I laugh. He's not part of the opposition.
He isn't?
No.
Ah.
The opposition are those who have clear political parties and have contested.
He's on the road
one
to
or two. Then later we can discuss that. And when I listen to him say that the movement, so-called movement, will become the biggest, most formidable political force by September. A party that is struggling to get 10,000 voters to endorse them to register last month, how can within 3 months become the biggest political party in the country? That is fantasy. But nonetheless, people have a right to dream. Dream is free. Even me, I can sit here and say next tomorrow I'll fly to heaven. I can do that. I can dream. But again, let me just go through. I'm not going personal because we as a government, we listen to criticisms and we respond. We take note, we respond, and where we can learn, we learn. Now, on the economic management and cost of living, they made some claims. They argue that government's current economic measures are cosmetic and they lack substance. Now, this is the danger of when you don't speak for yourself, when people tell you what to go and say. You say words you don't even know what they mean. I've heard them say austerity, cosmetic. These are things that someone told them to come and say it because they don't even know, because they cannot even decipher us what they mean and how they are going to do it. But let me just go to the fuel subsidies. They said that the government has spent 500 million to keep prices at 120. Yes, for fuel prices, that is petrol. But they are saying prices are likely to hit 150 soon. And they criticize government for stating they will stop subsidies. We've not said that. Because subsidies will continue, but because our price structure is every month. Next month, we look at the economy, look at how things are going, and then intervene based on what is possible. They also talk about inflation. And also, but our response here is that these criticisms are long, but they never offer any practical solutions. And that is our view. Now, the reality is that across the world, all governments have to respond to these global shocks. All governments. From even the countries where the oil producing countries, today, fuel prices have gone up in those countries. And Gambia is no exception. Now, in the face of these challenges, we have acted responsibly to cushion the impact it will have on Gambians by making sure that we do the right subsidies. And our subsidies are far-reaching, from agriculture in terms of the price of groundnuts, but also fertilizer, to energy.
When you say agriculture, are you going to raise the price of groundnut?
No. I say the subsidies we've been providing for the Gambian people are far-reaching. Currently, we are subsidizing agriculture.
Okay.
Because when fertilizer,
I heard groundnut somewhere there.
No, what I'm saying is that we buy the ton of groundnuts from farmers at $38,000 per ton.
Okay.
But we sell it for 20,000. It means we are subsidizing.
Okay, you're talking about the past. I thought we should expect.
No, I'm saying that the subsidies are not new. We've been having subsidies.
Okay.
All of since before this crisis, in agriculture, fertilizers, and groundnuts. In energy, NAWEC, over $1 billion every year is pumped into NAWEC as subsidies. Otherwise, you would pay more in kilowatt hour for your electricity. And it
will hurt you more, because then those new areas you are boasting about having electricity will be unable to afford the electricity.
That's what I'm saying. So that is why government understands. That is why we're having the subsidies. And other areas as well that we are subsidizing. Our social protection programs by supporting vulnerable families. All these are support mechanisms that we are giving to the people. What is important here is that now to dismiss these measures, the subsidies, the interventions as cosmetic really ignores the direct relief this has had on many Gambians, struggling families who today would have paid more in the pump than they are paying now. So I think really Gambians don't deserve that kind of description. I think what we need to do is to commend the government for these interventions. But otherwise, without this intervention, the cost of living would have really far surpassed what it is now. Now, on inflation, I think he said that he disagrees with me that inflation has gone down. And I'll give you the data here, that inflation in the Gambia peaked about 18.5% in September 2023. 18.5%. It has since declined steadily. 9.1 in March 2025, 8.1 in April 2025, 6.6 in December 2025, and 6.4 in January 2026. Now, for months and months and months, prices have stabilized in this. Nobody can tell me that prices are skyrocketing on a daily basis in this country. Even the price of rice has gone down from 2004 to now $1,600, $1,700 per bag. Some might feel that prices are still high, but the rate at which prices increase in this country has clearly gone down. It's not skyrocketing. We're not seeing a steep upward spiral of prices in this country. What we've seen is a stabilization of prices in this country, and that shows that our fiscal and monetary interventions are working. But however, for the opposition, like Talib, to call for austerity.
I thought you said he was not in opposition.
And I said for the opposition, like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are now lumping him in with the opposition.
It depends on how you... So the opposition parties in the Gambia, I'm not saying he's not part of those opposition parties, but he's an opposition still, but not part of the recognized mainstream opposition parties. Now, for people like Talib to talk about austerity, I heard him say austerity, without telling us exactly what he means by austerity, or explaining to us what this means for ordinary citizens. Where would they cut in terms of austerity? Development projects? Will they reduce support for vulnerable communities like we are doing? Will they cut the subsidies we are doing in energy, in fuel, and so on and so on, in agriculture? Will they cut those subsidies? Will they stop building roads? Or will they freeze public services? Because responsible governance requires finding a balance between fiscal discipline and social protection. And that balance is what I was talking about. And I think just saying austerity measures, we need to know from them where will they put, what will they do exactly when they talk about austerities. Now, as a government, we are committed to smart expenditure, economic stability, but also to protect Gambians from external shocks. That is why we always anticipate, we look at trends and build an outlook of how the global economy would look like and prepare for that eventuality. That is why we are always on top of the game. Now, fiscal and tax reforms, I've also had them talk about that, and then talk about the tax base, and also there's a disparity between tax collected and tax base. And I think what is important is that this ignores the steps already taken by the government to modernize the revenue collection and formalize the economy. We understand that sustainable growth cannot come from overburdening compliant taxpayers, for example. We cannot do that. But this is a process, and that is why the reforms are ongoing. We are expanding economic participation, we are improving compliance, but also, the most important, digitizing revenue collection. One of those things is we are going to do with the EVAT system, whereby now the Gambia Revenue Authority can, in real time, see how much VAT is being paid by VAT-paying entities. And I think that's a huge, huge, huge boost in terms of... And then another thing that they mentioned about the projects, and I think this is what killed me, calling the road projects as cosmetic. I think it's an insult to the people who are benefiting from these roads. Calling our road projects as cosmetic is an insult to the people of Kabada. You're telling you don't deserve these roads. And the people of Kabada has been crying, dying for these roads for many, many tens and tens of years. They didn't have any road network. They struggled to access healthcare, struggled to access schools. The government has built that road for them, and you call it cosmetic, that they don't deserve it. Because you live in an area where you don't have roads, has a problem with roads. Now, calling the people of Kiang, telling them that your Kiang West Road, which has transformed lives there, it's an insult to the people of Kiang, to the people of Kabad, the people of Madiana here. Talib has insulted all these people, telling them that you don't deserve good roads. You don't deserve good roads because these things are cosmetic and they shouldn't happen. And I think what really, the height, or we call the icing on the cake of this folly.
Oh, folly.
Yes, is proposing electric vehicles for the Gambia.
What's laughable about that?
What's laughable is that EVs are not the solution to the Middle East crisis. You cannot use it as a response. It's part of our roadmap, as part of our green transition in medium to long term. It's part of our plans. But you cannot tell me that because there's a crisis in the Middle East, introduce EVs. Every Gambian in this country, 99.9 Gambians in this country, have vehicles that run on fossil fuel. Yeah. Now, would you one day wake up in the morning and tell them to park all your cars and start using EVs as new technology? emerging technologies, very expensive, very, very, even the modern Western countries, which countries have not gone into full EVs yet. Because if I tell Peter, drop your Toyota, what Toyota do you have?
No, I don't even have a car.
If I tell you to drop your Toyota, which is the most popular Toyota, remind me, which is the most popular Toyota?
I don't have a car.
No, Peter, I don't believe that. Okay. Let's say you have a car. Your car is 10 years old, for example.
Yes.
This is the car you can afford. One morning, government brings a policy and says, now park all your cars and go EV. I mean, we don't have the infrastructure of EV.
But is that how he was proposing it?
Yeah, but for him, this is the response to the Middle East crisis.
Oh.
Basically, that's it. It's a response to the Middle East crisis. Now, because why? We don't have the infrastructure yet. We don't have the energy generation capacity yet to go EV. Now, as part of our long-term plans as a government, as part of our green transition, this is all there. But for now, we have to manage with what we have. We cannot impose that on the people. That is why I'm telling you, the man was speaking not from his own senses, but he was feed in to come and speak and say things he don't even understand how they work. And that is the sad aspect of it now. And it's a big contradiction because he acknowledged the massive infrastructural transformation the government is doing and which is taking place across the, but simultaneously also calling them cosmetic. You see the double standards there. You said, yes, the government is doing a good job in bringing infrastructure, but it is cosmetic. I think really there is some form of dishonesty there. But the most important thing, what I'm trying to say is that EVs, Gambia is not ready for EVs yet, and you cannot use it as a response.
Say that again. Gambia is not ready for EVs.
No, not now.
Okay.
Because this is a long-term transition. Because first you need to have the policy in place, the regulations in place, the infrastructure in place, and it takes time to build these things over time. But also, you need to also sensitize, let people get to understand how these things work. Even the most developed countries have not gone full EV yet, and you cannot use that as a response to a crisis which was ad hoc, which nobody expected it would happen. And then finally, on democracy, I think if I understand, you can correct me, saying Gambia was it's not more democratic now than before. And I think, really, this is dishonesty at the highest level. We all know today that Gambia is more democratic than not only comparatively within Gambia, but also than most countries in the world, even I can say in the world. The democracy that really exists in this country, I've not seen it anywhere. I agree with him on one thing, that we should drive away our debate from the politics of insults and personal attack towards the politics of each and respect. I totally agree with him on that. But what I'm trying to say is that today, Gambia is freer than ever before. Political pluralism is existing in this country. The media is freer than ever before. The political parties are free to campaign and do whatever they want to do and say whatever they want to say without any repercussions whatsoever. The president has been able to build a thriving, secure, stable democracy comparable to no other country in the subcontinent. And I think this is something that we must acknowledge. Today, if you see, what's the name of their movement again?
Unite Movement for Change.
If you see, on Sunday, they are going to have a congress and a rally without any inhibitions. It is because democracy exists.
Is it on Sunday or on Saturday?
I'm not sure when. But what I'm trying to tell you is that
it's on Saturday.
Imagine if this was 15 years ago, time of Jammeh, when a movement will look up and say, we are going for a rally and congress. Just go and do it there. You'll find them there, and they'll deal with you. But now it's free. So I think we should acknowledge. I think no matter what, you might not like President Barrow, you might not like his government, but
GALA gathered, and then you unleash the you on them.
Now I'll tell you something about GALA. In fact, that is what I want to talk about.
Okay, let's talk about GALA.
And that's the final closing for me.
Okay.
And by the way, I thank the mayor for now having the audacity to come and respond for himself to my criticisms. And I never went personal. I just said that he has really derelicted his duties as a mayor because he is not at KMC anymore running that place. He is out campaigning, looking for the presidency. And he has...
And you're doubling down on that?
No, of course, yes, but that's the fact. In fact, he himself has acknowledged that he's delegating. He said it here. He said delegation. He's delegated his responsibility to someone else. In fact, he said that it's not the role of the mayor to run the council. It is somebody else. I think he meant something. I mean, that's an insult to the people of KM. It's not you. Why are you elected then?
The CEO.
Exactly. Why were you elected then? Then let's elect the CEO and let the CEO be there. And he said that he had delegated. It means he had already accepted that he's not there anymore. He had delegated his responsibility campaigning. So obviously, and now, before when I go after him, when we criticize him, he will go to one of these small boys around him and say, "Denga Dr. Lumwa, dem lengen tontuko." But this time, mom nyo tontuma. And I like that.
I am sure he wouldn't say it.
No, seriously. Boy, denga Dr. Lumwa, dem lengen tontuko wa. Then guy be running around, his minions will running around tontuing me. But now he himself came to Tontu. But when he came to Tontu, he, in fact, xam nga yusu ndom Lumwa, mo ne ngay laxatu be fas laxasu. Loolu moo ko dal dafa ñëw pour tontu pour clair mu dugal boppam ne waa dafa délégate in fa loolu liggéeyam sax bu mu doon ut di candidat mayoral bi su doon bu mu doon campagne waxul loolu dafa ne jox leen ma ko dama liggéey ma change KM waaye la moo change KM for after 8 years tell me what has changed apart from a few flower pots outside of the council.
Oh, come on.
Lan moo change KM.
But again, back dump side fence will go off.
Please. Now,
please.
Promise na fi housing gisuñ ko, roads gisuñ ko, lu la fi promise gisuñ ko. So we judge you by the campaign promise, not lu am. Lu ma wa moy ne. It was very clear, and I said it here the last time. Mu ne, suñu dafa build how much 80,000 units of homes, something like that, 80 kilometers of roads connecting this urban transport, boss yi daw from ward to ward. Ana you know ñep dara. That is no lo lañu.
Yena ko koñé.
Naka lañ ko koñé?
Wax na ko fi du ben yon du ñaari.
Xam nga c'est out excuse rek. And the funny thing is moy ne so they would excuse. When I want understand the Minister of Information di rone fine but I understand what came Momo understand ko jël so man I'm always not understand but when you criticize they always find faults ñi ñu koñé understand the ministry bi understand the council do garaw let them take they are the ones to understand but what I'm trying to tell you is that I just mention a few things he raised and I want to make clarity on them. He went low, he went personal.
How?
He said he made some personal comparisons with Mune. He's more successful than me. That is childish. I wouldn't do comparisons because everybody is successful in your own ways. But personal comparisons, I would never go into that because it's really childish and immature. So the more to see Bubunono. And he also about past utterances. Questioning my integrity for past utterances. Look, I'll give an example. Just an example of how things are in the world of politics. That today someone can be your opposition and tomorrow your allies. Before becoming an ally of Trump and today he's Secretary of State, Marco Rubio was also sharply critical of him during the 2016 Republican primaries. You know how he called him? He called him a con artist. He called him wholly unprepared for the presidency. And warning that friends do not let friends vote for con. And he mocked him that he has small hands. Let's move on to another important person for President Trump.
Yes.
And that is who?
The vice president.
J.J. Vance.
Yeah.
He called him America's Hitler.
Yes.
He described him as reprehensible. He even called him and said he was unfit for a nation's highest office. And referred to him as the time as never Trump guy. Today, these two people are the most powerful people in Trump's administration. So this is politics. He doesn't understand politics. He doesn't know the world of politics.
So in politics, there are no permanent enemies.
No eternal allies.
Okay.
Today, we might be on the different sides of the fence and we'll shoot at each other because that's it.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, we are on the same side. We'll support each other and help each other. That's politics. So for me,
you got Barrow though when you were aiming
for me, and also he's so fixated with the third term because he knows that the game is lost. Barrow is going to win, and Barrow has won. He doesn't want us to reach there. That is why he doesn't want to go for a third term. But I think that should not be the debate for now. Let him campaign and come. And Barrow has said it in Madiana, and he was very right that if you think that I'm not popular, why don't you challenge me individually? Why do you need a coalition?
Why does he need a coalition?
Who?
Barrow. With CA,
it's Barrow
with
has
NRP,
these are alliances.
APRC.
These are alliances. These are not coalitions in the nature as what they are forming now. These are people who want to ally with the ruling party.
What's the difference?
The difference is that when people ally with the ruling party is the biggest part and takes the lead. There's no question about who.
Yeah, we're saying unbundle, this alliance.
No,
and
the coalition.
Each go on your own.
The coalition have come together. Want to make it a very comprehensive coalition.
But they're trying to come together.
No, in fact, there are different layers. I've seen my uncle Bibi Dabo's statement, really going after them to say that why form a coalition when Apex is existing. There are other frameworks as to why you have to put the ADD framework. Even among them, there is some infighting. But that's not the question today.
Which you people are celebrating and are praying that it remains that way.
The question is, I wouldn't do personal attacks. I wouldn't do success comparisons because I think that they're immature and childish. However, our only criticism of the mayor is three things. He cannot be trusted. 2, he's a betrayer. He betrayed the UDP and betrayed the people of KM. What guarantees are there if he's given the country, he wouldn't betray the country?
He betrayed the people of KM?
No, KM.
Oh, KM.
Pure and simple. He's shown every characteristic of a betrayer. He betrayed UDP, broad daylight. A party that brought him from nothing, zero, to make him what he is today. And he woke up in the morning just to be a leader of that party. He abandoned the party. Within seconds, abandoned them. And then he's also woke up one morning, abandoned KM to be president. So that person cannot be trusted. And finally,
the man is still in office. How has he abandoned KM?
But he himself has said it here that he's delegated his responsibilities. He's out campaigning. That's what he said. He said it here.
Don't you sometimes delegate responsibilities?
Who, me?
Yes.
No. I'm always in the office working.
You never delegate responsibility?
No. To who? I'm the Minister of Information. I come here every Tuesday. I go to the Gambia every Thursday. And I go to cabinet every Thursday. I'm in Banjul working. If I'm out of the country, I'm working for the office. But for now, he's not working for the office. He's working for his movement. There's a clear difference there. But then again, we know what's happening. Even the people around him don't know what is happening.
What is happening?
That the conspiracy to mortgage our country, we know.
Conspiracy to mortgage our country?
Of course, we know it. Even Yanko Badabo said yesterday that he cannot be trusted. That would be biggest disaster for Gambia to elect Talib. Because we all know.
I know 2 Yanko Badabos.
Of West Coast region.
Okay.
He said it would be the biggest disaster for Gambians to elect the mayor. Because why? He knows and we know the conspiracy which is there to mortgage our country to the highest bidder.
So for once a UDP official has said something you agree with?
I'm not saying that because we already know it even before he said it. He's just amplifying what we know. That they cannot be trusted. There's a conspiracy to mortgage our country to the highest bidder. And it will be...
And who are the bidders?
No, we cannot go into those details.
But you know the bidders.
But we know that the forces supporting this movement, we know. We know their interests and we know what they want in this country.
And there are forces that are situated outside the country?
Of course.
Okay.
So they cannot be trusted to be given this country. And I think Gambians know that already. What is important is that the President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, is delivering in every front. The only sticking point that people used to now use as a weak point was employment, that he made a pledge of 150,000. Now we give you 163,000.
Okay.
And by next year we'll even increase to 200,000 because of the enabling environment for investment to promote.
You were going to talk about GALA.
So the GALA one, it is sad that he and others are politicizing the GALA issue. The GALA issue is not a political issue. It's not a policy issue. It's a purely public order issue. If the police go to Madiana today or Kiang and arrest people for supposedly committing a crime, what has that got to do with the presidency? It's purely operational policing issue. Why do you have to politicize it? Why do you have to make it a policy issue? It's not directives from office of the president to say go arrest people who are seen to be violating the law. No. It's an operational issue. As far as we are concerned as a government, we believe in dialogue in a democracy. We don't see GALA as enemies. We see them as people who are passionate about their country, young people. Past maybe the manner in which they do, you might disagree with the manner in which they engage. We've called for dialogue and we are still open for dialogue. To build our country. We are building this country for the young people. We are led to listen to their concerns. Maybe the way they transmit those concerns, maybe this where we don't agree. But we've opened our doors, and I've said it before in our press conference we had with them. Our doors are open for dialogue. If you have any issues you want us to discuss, let us sit on the table and discuss it and find common solutions. But let people stop politicizing the GALA issue. It's purely operational policing issue and a public order issue, and not a political or policy issue. Because otherwise, you will politicize every issue. If Peter Gomez today does something that is seen to be violating the outside, and will people say, oh, it's Adama Barrow who was sent for people to arrest? No. When the police are still doing their work, what does Adama Barrow know about? Adama Barrow has more important issues to deal with than operational policing issues. That's a purely policing issue. It's not a, so when people politicize it to say that GALA, Adama Barrow, no, there is nothing absolutely that can link GALA to Adama Barrow, because Adama Barrow has no time for GALA or for anybody else. What Adama Barrow has time for is the promises he made to the Gambian people, that I want to build you roads, I want to transform this country, I want to build hospitals, I want to promote healthcare, I want to strengthen our education sector, I want to make sure that our women are empowered, young people have jobs. This is Adama Barrow's daily, everyday preoccupation at the state. That's nothing else. And not GALA, because GALA is not a political party. It's not, what is the GALA a threat? So if the police are out doing their job, and they come across a group of young people who they think, in their own assessment, policing assessment, that they violated the law, and they arrest them, that's a purely policing issue. Why drag the government into that?
Okay, all right. Listen, it's 7 minutes past 10 o'clock. We have to end it there, but I must read you this text. Hello, Uncle Peter. Dr. Ceesay is doing a wonderful job. I urge the president to reappoint him after winning the election in 2026. Somebody seems to be sure that the president is going to win in 2026, and because they are happy with you, they would like you reappointed. Would you like to be reappointed as information minister or as external affairs minister?
The president decides that when the time comes.
All right. And that was Dr. Ceesay sharing his insights with us this morning.
Santa Yala. Nga xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay nag doo ci yokku dara.
A better way to pay your UTG fees with instant proof of payment and real-time student portal update. Paying your University of the Gambia fees has never been easier or more convenient. With Ecobank, students, parents and guardians can pay UTG tuition and related fees through our secure digital banking channels such as Ecobank mobile app, Ecobank online and Ecobank Omni Lite. Once payment is completed, instant proof of payment is generated and the UTG student portal is updated in real time, allowing students to proceed immediately with registration, course selection, and clearance without unnecessary delays, while giving parents and guardians peace of mind that payments have been successfully processed. How to pay via the Ecobank mobile app. Open the Ecobank mobile app and navigate to the home screen. Select Pay Bill. Choose Pay a New Bill and select Schools from the category options. Select University of the Gambia. Select the specific product you are paying for. Enter your matriculation number and tap Continue. Validate your details. The system will display the payable amount. Press Continue to confirm the payment. An e-receipt is generated automatically as proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. How to pay via Ecobank Online or Omni Lite. Log in to Ecobank Online and Omni Lite using your credentials. Select the menu and choose Bill Payments. Choose Quick Bill Pay and select School from the category options. Select University of the Gambia. Select the specific product you are paying for. Enter your matriculation number and tap Continue. Validate your details. The system will display the payable amount. Press Continue to confirm the payment. An e-receipt is generated automatically as proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. Walk into any Ecobank branch or pay through our digital channels and enjoy instant proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. Ecobank, the Pan-African Bank.
GALA Oil Company stands tall as a trusted name in energy, keeping the Gambia moving with service stations across the country and a commitment to innovation and reliability. In Farafenni, GA Group is reshaping our industrial landscape. The GA Oil Cement Factory can produce up to 100,000 bags a day, reducing imports, creating jobs, and building a stronger Gambia brick by brick. And in the heart of the Central River region, GA Farming Initiative is cultivating food security. With thousands of hectares under development and modern irrigation, GA Farming is turning the Gambia's soil into abundance. GA Group is more than a company. It is a vision of self-sufficiency, resilience, and progress. The GA Group of companies, investing in industry, agriculture, and energy, building the Gambia's future today.